Good morning, Vicky. How are you doing? My name's Rhonda. It's nice to meet you today.
Nice to meet you too.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, we're going to get to know each other a little bit. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I am married. I've been married 30 years, have 2 children. They're gone and grown. I am from Charlotte. I am a Charlottean. I've worked here my whole life. I'm involved in my community. I'm involved in volunteer efforts. I like being involved in helping people. And I'm excited about being here today.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that because honestly, I'm a Charlottean and that is such a rarity. So you don't find a lot of that. So it's great to find someone else who kind of understands that. And that's phenomenal. So your kids are grown and both out?
Yes, they are. One's married and one's not.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Tell me about your past work experience.
I have a 22-year career with Aetna. My last position there was a network account manager. So I have a lot of experience in provider relations. A lot of my experience is customer service. I dealt with provider groups, physician groups within the Charlotte area. I actually handled Mecklenburg, Gaston, York, Cleveland, and I had to manage the whole physician network within those counties.
Oh, wow. So you had a huge responsibility.
Yes, I did.
Fantastic. That's great to know because that means you really have a really good balance of things. So
yes.
Okay. Describe a time when you worked on a team.
In my past position that I just had with the company called High Right, we were part of a pilot program called vendor management, and we were required to go out and get contracts with vendors and save money for the company and contract collection site services, testing services like drug testing, urine drug testing, breath alcohol. And our job as a team was to go out and cover the whole United States and contract the network and save money. And we had to work together because we were in different territories. We were sometimes in the same territory, which means we had to decide between each of us who would approach what vendor they would keep, what vendor I would be responsible for, or would we tag team a vendor because they were large. They may be a nationwide vendor, and we were able to bring on a lot of contracts. By being on this team, we were able to manage and handle a large vendor that had maybe 500 sites. So we were able to give them volume data and give them client data and give them all kinds of data between the team because it was too large for one person to handle. So we would have to work as a team to get that done.
Okay. So how did the pilot program work? Did it go well?
It did well. We actually saved over $1.5 million within a shorter period of time, less than 5 months.
So that's pretty impressive. So I'm taking the company probably as something they want to continue with.
Oh yes, they want to continue it, and they want to keep the team. The team was called the Death Star. So.
Oh, okay, amazing. Yeah, that's great to be on a phenomenal team like that. Okay. All right. Tell me about a time when you had too many things to do and you had a prioritized task. How would you make those decisions?
Well, in my job at Aetna, I was, as I told you, managed this large network where on a daily basis I had to handle the contracting, the claims issues, the complaint issues, systems issues, the way the contracts were loaded. And that was in and of itself a huge task. But then we would have a state audit come in that only comes in like 4 times a year. At the same time, our marketing department is asking for data to sell a client on the product by showing them how many providers we have in the network and what kind of providers. Well, when they hit that at you all at one time, you have to prioritize what's more important, what's more consistent in trying to make. In other words, I had to determine what I was going to do each day in order to meet those goals and take care of the marketing, take care of my network, and then take care of everything. So basically what I did was I would set aside time each day, and I would dedicate so many hours to each task. So that way, I knew within that day I had touched all three. You know, managing my network might not have taken as much time as doing the geo-access for the marketing. In other words, showing them what providers we had, what kind of providers we had. But I would just sit down before my day started, and I would prioritize my day so that I knew what I was going to do before the day was over. So I wasn't just hitting it, just trying to just hit it without any kind of organization.
Right, so you had to have a game plan, and by working through the game plan, you were able to pull
Exactly.
and make sure that you completed all your tasks.
Exactly.
Oh, phenomenal. That's great. Tell me about a time when you had to go way beyond what you would consider your job and your call of duty, and how did you handle that situation?
I was asked to go into the mountain area to recruit that area for Aetna. And what that means is we had no providers or groups up there contracted. So I had to go into an area that is relatively remote as far as insurance is concerned. They didn't understand what that was.
Right.
And so I had to come up with a way of going into their backyard, so to speak, and becoming part of them so that they would trust me enough to talk to me about contracting with Aetna, because up there they didn't like insurance, didn't want to have anything to do with insurance, because up there most people pay cash or they're on Medicare. So I went up there and actually took cookies for a month, twice a week.
You networked.
And I networked, and I went from place to place. I even went into some of the restaurants to talk to them about the doctors within the community, who had a good bedside manner, who didn't. So that when I went back after about a month, they started calling me Vicky instead of, you know, you don't belong here. So it was a difficult task because I didn't know how to approach these people, and I didn't really know exactly who they were or what they were, or what kind of community, or what kind of interaction, or what kind of technology they had. I didn't know if they were electronic or paper. So I just approached them as if I was moving into a new neighborhood.
Stop.
Good.